Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Greenwood, Arkansas. As we bring you 5A West soccer action between the Mountain Home Lady Bombers and the Greenwood Bulldogs. Drove 200 miles for this. They are about to do the national anthem and the pledge and all that good stuff here at Smith Robinson Stadium in Greenwood. Lady Bombers coming to this game in 6th place in the 5A West, a game behind Greenwood, who sits 5th, and then they'll have Greenbrier on Tuesday, who currently sits in 4th place in the 5A West. They're going to do the national anthem real quick. Be back in just a moment on the Bomber Sports Network. Back here in Greenwood, they're about ready to get going here. We had to move this back a day, or up a day, I guess. I always get that confused due to weather. Look at the radar here in Greenwood. There's a lot of precipitation going through back home in Mountain Home and through northeast Arkansas, but here in the Fort Smith and Greenwood area, it's all clear as we're about ready to go here. There's expected precipitation next week, as Bomber baseball and softball will head to Greenwood, or excuse me, not Greenwood, they'll head to Alma, just down the road. Greenwood, the longest conference road trip for the Bombers. But we're glad you're here with us today. So they're going through the starting lineups for both teams. Same usual starters for Mountain Home. Lily Henson up front, Jaden Davis in net, Kendra McLean, Kelsey Blackwell, Bella Dotson, Jocelyn Hill, Abby Dettelbach, Lauren Rawls, Nikita Brunette, and both of the medleys, Kendra and Kenna, respectively, starting today for Coach Skylar King's club. Glad you're here with us this afternoon. Should be a good one here. Pretty decent crowd on hand. Funny, both these teams, they have the same two teams remaining, as Greenwood has Alma and Greenbrier left. We have Greenbrier and Alma left over this final week. Lady Bombers fighting for their playoff life right now, and then after this, a big boys game. Winner of that one will take possession of 4th place with a week to go, as again, both these teams will have mutual opponents, so all intents and purposes, this is pretty much a game for 4th place in the boys. Of course, no matter what happens, a lot can be decided next week. So we have a lot coming up here. We have Lady Bombers softball on Tuesday at Alma. They'll figure out, well, they're already locked up into 3rd place, but Bomber baseball, they have a lot to figure out. Over the course of 2 games, they could finish at 2nd, 3rd, or 4th in the conference. 2nd is highly unlikely, but there is still a window to get that. They could even not make the state tournament. There are 5 teams fighting for 4 spots. Russellville's got a spot pretty well locked up over in baseball. So really it's 4 teams fighting for 3 spots, as the officials are finally making their way out. It seems pretty clear out here, just a few clouds in the air. They're really light clouds there. Light gray, meaning there's less precipitation in those. The darker clouds, again, as we talked about at softball last week. The darker clouds have a lot more precipitation in them, and it thus reflects less light. Thankful to our hosts, the Bulldogs of Greenwood. They have provided us an area to stream indoors, provided us with high-speed internet and light breeze of AC coming through here. Can't really ask for much more, as Greenwood will start with possession of the ball. They'll move from right to left in front of us here. Lady Bombers will go from left to right. We do not have a microphone outside. None of the windows up here open up, so you might hear a little bit of an echo or whoever else. Mountain Home in their road white uniforms with blue numerals and a little gold down the side, and blue shorts and white socks and assorted cleats. Greenwood, they're all navy blues with white numerals and a white Greenwood across the chest. No trim at all. Blue socks and, of course, assorted colors of cleats. Greenwood has a good opportunity going right now as they'll clear it out. Jocelyn Hill clears it out to the 35. Jaden Davis in net. Usual bright neon pink socks and jersey for her. A little bit of green across the shoulders. Greenwood's goalkeeper also wearing bright pink. It's much brighter than Jaden's. Comes Kelsey Blackwell. Down to Kendra Medley along the sideline. They get it to McLean. McLean tried to give it to Medley, lost it. Medley got it back. Kelsey Blackwell was the Miss Coach Fulcher AAP. They had a cool thing they did in AAP yesterday where they had fake interviews with 3 people in the community that Brad Coleman got, that is the mentor for Coach Fulcher's AAP. And she went home with some scholarship money. Of course, very interesting. There are only 2 officials today. It's not against the rules. It's very unorthodox, though. Normally you see 3. You see 2 assistant referees, one that will go from 50 to about the 5 on one side, the same on the other side, and then one that just roams around everywhere. But if you only have 2, then you basically have 2 center officials. So the thing that will get missed the easiest is offsides, because there's not someone just right on top of it. But you'll see a lot more called in the midfield, which can negate that. I believe this was the case last year when we came here. They only had 2 refs. Of course, that was a marathon last year. I believe we didn't get done with the girls' game. Hey, y'all go last year, the girls' game? When did we get done there? I know we got home late, but we didn't start till like 10 o'clock. Yeah, it was like 10, 10:30. Of course, we had a weather delay in the boys' game, which then it carried over to the second half. They started the second half and had another weather delay. So it was just a long night, which it's a long night anyway, since it's about a 3-hour, 45-minute drive, at least on a car. In a bus, it's much longer. A deep bench of subs for both sides, 2 of the larger teams in the conference. Remember, Russellville, they didn't just have a whole lot waiting on the bench. Same thing with Alma. Greenwood's boys will have a new coach tonight. Got word pregame that Coach Woods, their boys coach, he is out sick tonight, so their AD, Coach Young, who's also the football coach, will be coaching tonight. A couple Bobber fans here down in front of us, and the Mountain Home chairback say MH and Bombers across the back of it. So we're about 5 minutes into this one. Glad you're here with us. At halftime, we'll have a special presentation. We'll have the latest Bomber update that came out, of course, last Friday. Big things coming up. Have the Athlete of the Year banquet coming up on the 7th. Bomber basketball's having its end of the year banquet on the 6th. And then starting also that week on, I believe it's let me check the date. See, 9th, 10th, and 11th will be the start of state tournaments across our spring sports. Softball already locked in. Baseball trying to lock itself in, and both soccer teams fighting for position to try to get in. Baseball and soccer hosted by Harrison. So that's just a short 1 hour drive from Mountain Home, maybe even less, depending on how you drive. And then the soccer state tournament will be held in Hot Springs, courtesy of Lakeside. I believe the second field that will host games outside of Hot Springs Lakeside High School will be Hot Springs High School, but have to look in that. The brackets are available now on the Arkansas Activities Association website. I'll just hyperlink you to sblive.com. 6 minutes in here, still no score. We haven't had a shot on goal yet. Possession is favored Greenwood by about 80-20. Thankful to get this one in today. You know, the forecast was not favorable for tomorrow. So we just moved this up a day, and we're getting underway. Of course, the weather is not too favorable in this area for the next, it looked like about the next 2 weeks or so. There was a chance of rain every day of around 50 or more percent. So that'll make things interesting for baseball and softball to have to play on Tuesday. Three minutes to go in this first half. Still no score. That weather radar we had pregame, courtesy of the National Weather Service, as the sun comes out a little bit. Mountain Home coming into this game 3-8 in 5A West play. Greenwood a game ahead at 4-7. There's only been 2 ties in this league. Van Buren has a tie. Alma has a tie. Actually, only 1 tie, so everyone's record is just straight up. As Alma and Van Buren tied last week, everyone else has got a nice even number. The boys is a jumbled mess. Siloam leads the conference 11-0. Harrison at 10-1. Russellville 9-2, Greenbrier 5-6. They hold 4th place. Greenwood is a game behind them for 4th place. Mountain Home 2 games behind 4th place at 3-8, and then Alma and Van Buren at 1-9-1 and 0-10-1 respectively. So still a lot to play for Mountain Home. They could pick up a win today and then win 2 next week. You know, who knows how the rest shakes out, but should be an interesting week and a half across all of our sports. The only one that has really their fate decided is softball, who more than likely will be locked into third, or close as you can be to being locked without actually being locked in at third. Here at Smith Robinson Stadium. Seen a lot of good football here, mainly of the American variety. Takes place in the fall. That sun is shining, 71 degrees. 10 minutes into this first half of action, still no shots on goal. 0-0 our score. A tie would not be the end of the world for both clubs, as everyone would gain ground on fourth place Greenbrier. It is a point system that they go by. You see it in the Premier League, as Medley knocks that one away. Currently, the Lady Bombers only have 6 points. You get 2 points for a win, 1 point for a loss, and then 1 point for a tie and none for a loss. Currently, Mountain Home has 6 points. Greenwood has 8 points, and Greenbrier has 10 points. I believe that's how it is. If it's not 2 points for a win, it's 3 points. Under the 30-minute mark here in Greenwood, the self-proclaimed title town. This is our last regular season broadcast of Bomber and Lady Bomber soccer. We'll still have the senior night festivities for you on the Huddle Focus camera next Friday, but everything else will be at the mercy of the other schools we go to. I know Greenbrier streams their games. Can't remember if it's an actual live production or if it's with the Huddle Focus camera or what, but it's a great tool, the Huddle Focus camera. .28 minutes to go. The Bombers have arrived. They showed up about the start of the game. They've made their way into one of the visiting band bleachers over on the right. A couple of them at the top. They're just relaxing, and some at the top are taking a peek at the baseball practice behind them. So every facility here in Greenwood right next to each other. The football stadium's right here. HB Bulldog Arena, where they play basketball and a little bit of volleyball, is that brick building on the close to the center of your screen now. Then to the left of that's their baseball field, and then diagonally from there is their softball field. Hey, their softball team's still undefeated in conference play. So they'll be the one over in softball. Just a reminder, with it coming up next week, Mountain Home Public Schools is currently accepting applications from students interested in participating in the School Choice Program. School Choice Act 560 of 2015, authorized by the Arkansas General Assembly, empowers parents to seek admission for their children in participating school districts other than their residential district. To be deemed eligible for the approaching school year, applications for the 24-25 term, that's this upcoming school year, must be received on or before May 1st. Applications should be submitted to the non-resident district, which will then notify the resident district of the filed application. As a goal scored by Greenwood, or scored by Mountain Home. Oh, did you see Kelsey Blackwell? Is that Kelsey Blackwell? It looked like Kelsey Blackwell put one in the net. It looked like it was going to be knocked away as she whiffed on it, and the Lady Bombers have a 1-0 lead. We'll get back to school choice in a minute, but Lady Bombers have got out to an early lead here. The first shot on goal is a goal for Mountain Home. So Kelsey Blackwell puts that one in the net. I believe that's goal number 8 of the year, I believe, for her, if I remember right. Does that sound right? I think Coach King said she was at 7. about 2 games ago. I think she scored the other night, so I believe it's at 8 now. So 1-0 here. So Greenwood trying to counter back, try to even this one up. So last time these two teams played, it was a 1-0 loss at Mountain Home. Greenwood scored a goal in the first 3 minutes, and that was about their only good shot at the net in the game. And it just so happened to go in. Mountain Home had a lot of opportunities. They just couldn't cash in. So now it bounces the other way for Mountain Home, and now they're in the lead. 25 minutes to go in this first half. Tate Chairs has made her way on the field. She's at left back, the left side defender of the formation. As Burnett back to Hill. Comes Kendra Medley. Dyed her hair this week. She went from like a darkish brown, now it's all black. So this is on the far side. It'll go out of play. We are up here in the football press box. That little hut you see at the top of the bleachers over there, that was where we were for football. Which it was nice. You know, it had good connectivity to the internet we needed, and AC. I mean, so there's just one more room over there, it'd be perfect. But I'm very low maintenance. 23:38 to go in the first half. Lady Bombers have a lead. Kelsey Blackwell put one in the back of the net. So with a win today, if the score holds, Mountain Home would move into a tie for 5th place. And then their game on Tuesday against Greenbrier would become so much bigger. As I believe Russellville and Siloam are playing today also. See if Greenbrier, who they have Alma today. They should win that one. The last time they played Alma, they won 5-0. So Siloam and Russellville fighting it out tonight. They had to move their stuff back for weather. Going to see about the same forecast that they were going to see over here for the next couple days. Try to pull that up for you. See if there's a live score update. Regardless of what happens in that match, it will not affect the positioning of either of these two teams. So, not just super worried about it. "22 minutes to go in this first half. Still looking all clear on the radar here. One was scooped up by Jaden Davis. High booming kick. With the wind at her back. And blowing from left to right in front of us here. It's not a very strong wind. As wind blowing about 8-9 miles an hour. Expecting gusts of up to 20 miles per hour over the course of today. Nothing just too crazy. Glad you're here with us today on the Bomber Sports Network on YouTube, along with the Mountain Home High School Athletics app and website. You can watch this game live at mhbombersports.com or download the Mountain Home Athletics app. It's available on the Apple and Google Play Store. As we're halfway through this first half, Lady Bombers have a lead. Kelsey Blackwell just the other side of the 40, going to send this one in to the 25. Greenwood on the counterattack. Mountain Home starting to push their formation higher up. This one's knocked away by Medley. Greenwood will still come up with it. They'll send it along the sideline. Well, she might have been offside, but again, there's only 2 officials, so that call will get missed more often than not. And you could only have 1 official, but most of the time there's 3. You'll have 2 on the side and then 1 just roaming around the field. $18:50 to go. Still no shots on goal for Greenwood. Mountain Home has 1, and they've scored. Hill was in pursuit, but Kendra Medley's going to knock this one out of bounds. Greenwood led by head coach Andrew Post. In his 11th year, talking to him pregame. So he's been here since 2003 in the district. It's a lot of years. This one's knocked in front. Jaden's going to scoop this one up. $17 minutes to go in this one. In the first half. Bomber baseball will be in action tomorrow. They'll head north of the border again for the 2nd straight week as they'll take on Fairgrove, Missouri. In Fairgrove, that's around the Springfield areas. She was tripped up on the far side. They'll have a free kick from inside the 20. That'll start at 4:30. Wish everyone safe travels in that one. Blackwell will take the free kick. This one is close to the net. It's scooped up. It was upper 90 on the left side. So that is the second save of the game for Greenwood. 2 saves each for both sides. .15 to go in this first half. 1-0 our score. Lady Bombers scored a goal off the boot of Kelsey Blackwell. .14 to go in this one in Greenwood in the first half. And we'll have the latest Bomber update from Superintendent Allison Dewey. Came out last Friday. They'll have a new one coming out tomorrow. A lot of jostling for position in the midfield. Jocelyn will give that to Nikita. Now coming back the other way, Lauren Rawls tried to knock it away. Took a funky spin. She got knocked down. Now it's pushed back the other way. I'm going the wrong way. Greenwood is going to try to reclaim possession outside the 18-yard box. Good centering pass for Greenwood. This is sent toward the net. Nikita breaks it up. This one towards the net, right to the chest of Jaden Davis. Another save for her. That's the third save of the ball game. Shots on goal or shots on frame are even 3-3. Good shot by Abigail Gatesman. One of the many seniors on this team. Golly, there's a lot. Let's see. As Greenwood trying to threaten here, there's at least 10 seniors on this Greenwood ball club. Just off a quick count. Yeah, there's 11 seniors. Yeah, 11 seniors on this Greenwood ball club. Lady Bombers only have 3. .11 to go in this first half. Lady Bombers scored with 25:50 left on the clock. Off the boot of Kelsey Blackwell. It looked like it was going to get knocked away. I was reading the school choice script that we have. And it was a perfectly placed ball. Approaching 10 minutes to go in the first half here in Greenwood. As this game's shaping up similarly to how this game went in Mountain Home. Greenwood had one really good look at the net the whole game, and they were able to cash in. Mountain Home's had one really good look at the net, and they were able to cash in this one. It was a 1-0 defeat to the hands of these Bulldogs back at Bomber Stadium about a month ago. Trend of back-to-back games. The Lady Bombers will be on the road on Tuesday as they'll take on Greenbrier. Last regular season road game, see if they'll continue their season. This one's scooped up by the keeper. Yeah, when Greenbrier came to Bomber Stadium on April the 2nd, about the same formula. They scored a goal about 10 minutes into the game, and Mountain Home was not able to equalize. So that's just how close it is in girls soccer in the middle part of this conference. If Mountain Home had tied those games or snuck across another one and got the win, the standings in the middle would be turned upside down. Eight and a half to go in this one. Couple more substitutions coming in. Looks like Dee Dee Martinez and Lauren Rawls will be coming into the game now. Greenwood with an opportunity here. Just skating around the 18-yard box. Mountain Home trying to clear it out now. So they get it across the 20. Now they'll get it to midfield. Lauren Rawls will kick it backwards. Greenwood Tays trying to knock this one away. It's a good job keeping her in front of her. Jocelyn trying to bottle her up. They do. So it gets skipped to the middle. Greenwood mishandles it. Now Mountain Home's on the counterattack now. Don't exactly have numbers. Greenwood taking a lot of theirs behind him. Lily Hinson gets behind another defender, trying to find someone to cross it to. She's going to cross it backwards on a crossover move. As it's set to the middle, nobody was there. Blackwell was about 2 steps behind. There's 6 minutes left in this first half. Lady Bombers got a goal about 20 minutes ago to take an early advantage, as we'll have a free kick. Was an infraction there. Looks like Abigail Gatesman will take this one. Her and I believe it's Garza will be near the ball. It's going to be Gatesman that will take the free kick just to the left of the 35 at the 34 in the football field. This kicks away. It makes it to the edge of the 18-yard box. Bounces away. Kenna Medley will clear it out. It'll go out of bounds. About the 20. It's hard to see, but the out-of-bounds line is a gray line around the field. It's really hard to see on this turf. Once you get to the football sideline area, the white line is out of bounds. Of course, the football field being a little bit skinnier than the soccer field. Probably by about maybe 10 yards or so. So if you're a first-time watcher, you'll see them go out of bounds on the football field, and you'll think, hey, they're out of bounds, but it's not. It's about it's probably closer to 12 feet wider. The length is the same. Going from back of the end zone to back of the end zone. This one's towards the net. Jaden Davis goes at her ankles. She has to dive to scoop this one up, but she does. .4:15 to go here live from Smith Robinson Stadium in the Tim Terry radio booth here on the campus of Greenwood High School. And I'm trying to clear this one out. Looks like it could be a corner kick for Greenwood. And this will be the first corner kick of the game for either side. Gatesman will take the corner kick. 3:30 to go in this first half of action. Here it comes to the right side of the 18-yard box. It's knocked away. Comes down to Rawls. Rawls ran past it, trying to keep with it. To go the other way, Rawls is knocked down. Kendra Medley with it now, and we'll have a whistle and a free kick. Be a penalty against Greenwood and a free kick for Mountain Home. Clock still running, under 3 to go now. .245 to go. Greenwood on the counterattack again. Mountain Home has 5 defenders back. Both teams desperately need this game today. See if we can find the Alma Greenbrier update. Well, Alma's and Greenbrier's boys are playing first right now. It's a wild first half so far. It's 5-2 with 10 minutes left in the first half. On the boys' side, I can't remember. Yeah, that's a team that's about a game behind Mountain Home. So a wild one in Alma right now. And see if, I want to say, Russellville and Siloam might have got moved to today. They did. Let's see how that's going in the girls' game. Siloam Springs leading Russellville 3-1. They didn't even play a JV game, so this is about a minute left in the game. This one's cleared out as we're a minute left in the first half here. Blackwell pushing across to Rawls. Rawls will skip it back to the middle. Greenwood scoops it up again. So Siloam Springs, it looks like, will remain undefeated. They will move to 12-0. Russellville fall to 9-3 in conference play. Everyone with 2 games left. I think the only ones not playing today are Van Buren and Harrison. I believe they're still on for tomorrow, unless something's changed there. 30 seconds left in this first half. Lady Bombers got a goal across with 26 minutes left in the first half. That's been our only scoring so far. And coming up at halftime, I have some good stuff for you. Down to 3, down to 2. She's got to launch it towards the net. Scooped up by Davis, and that'll do it for the half.
Talking with Jeff Kincaid, Guyberry Principal.
Guyberry, we started 12 years ago for the school district to have our own alternative learning environment, and we've really grown since then. We've come a long way. We've had 3 state ALE Teachers of the Year. Mr. Tim Harris won that award 2 years ago, and then this year at State ALE Convention, he was appointed to the Arkansas Association of Alternative Educators State Boards. We're proud to have him on there. It's really been a big blessing.
Visiting with Miss Kristen Goodwin, how would you describe the culture at Hackler? I've always heard it referred to as Happy Hackler.
Well, we are very happy at Hackler. We're very proud of the work that we do at Hackler. I think that we have outstanding students, and we have a faculty and staff that I am immensely proud to work with. They are easy to talk about. They're easy to celebrate because they want what's best for our students, and I'm very proud to be able to lead them.
Here's Mary Beth Russell, Mountain Home High School Principal.
So we have a lot of good going on right now at the high school. Think about it. If you're a teenager, you want to come to high school because we have all the things. That's the best part about being in high school is doing the things. Listen, if you can name it, we have a club that fits it. You know, I joke around about we're like New York. We're the high school that never sleeps. We have the mentoring program once a month. Our kids, they get to actually look and see experiences that no other high school in our area provides.
Here's Kyle McCarn, Mountain Home Junior High School Principal.
Everybody has a good time at the junior high. We're so proud of what we've been able to accomplish and all of those things. I think the biggest thing we have going at Mountain Home Junior High is just the culture that we have established. We have a ton of teachers and other staff that are encouraged and uplifting and ready for kids to be in our building so they can just create the best environment for learning.
Bombers. This week, I'm going to highlight our amazing transportation department. Our transportation staff is second to none. Here's a little trivia to test your knowledge about this department. Question 1. How many routes does our transportation department have? A, 18, B, 42, C, 55. The correct answer is B. We run 42 routes in the morning and 42 routes in the afternoon. How many students take the bus on average each day? A, 900, B, 1,600, or C, 2,300? The correct answer is C. 2,300 students ride our buses each day on average. That is about 60% of our student population. Approximately how many miles do our 42 routes cover each day? A, 700, B, 1,500, or C, 2,000? The correct answer is C. Over 2,000 miles are traveled each day. We live in one of the most geographically broad school districts in the state, so our buses travel very far distances every day. I bet some of you were pretty surprised about our answers to our trivia. Several of our drivers are retirees. Many of them had completely different careers before they joined us in the transportation department. Elected officials, therapists, we even have a driver who is an interior designer. Part of our transportation staff and drivers is made up of teacher drivers that drive the routes before and after school. If any of you are interested in joining this amazing department by becoming a driver, please feel free to reach out to us. Have a fantastic weekend and go Bombers! Hello Bombers! It is such a busy time of year and there are so many great things going on. Some examples from this week include the Hackler 3C graduation, music programs, several other activities, and of course multiple athletic events. Just a reminder to always look at the announcements from your child's school and the district calendar for updates on all these important events during this wild and crazy, fun time of year. Parents, we will not have school on May 3rd. This is a teacher contract day and will also serve as our kindergarten and high school registration days. I would like to take a moment to give a shout out to the Mountain Home High School Bomber Band. They won the Class 6A State Concert Band Contest held in Bryant on Wednesday. The band scored a superior First Division rating and is one of a handful of bands that qualified for the Distinguished Band Award for superior ratings at both the State Marching Contest last fall and the State Concert Contest on Wednesday. The Bomber Band was also selected as the 6A State Honor Band for the 2025 year, and they will be featured as a group at the next year's state contest. Promise this weekend, have fun, make great memories, and be safe. Everyone enjoy your weekend, and go Bombers!
Talking with Jeff Kincaid, Guyberry Principal.
Guyberry, we started it 12 years ago for the school district to have our own.
Back here in Greenwood, ready to get the second half rolling here. Lady Bombers tacked on a goal at the 26-minute mark in the first half. They're 40 minutes away from a victory. And we have a third official finally. I don't know what the delay was exactly, but it was been a very physical first half. Maybe this will lighten the load. Now we have two officials on each sideline, or one official on each sideline, two total. And then our center official. Center official is the new one of the bunch, which is interesting. We'll have a whistle and a penalty. Go against Greenwood. Mountain Home will have a free kick just south of the G at midfield. Here they come down the far side, launches it toward the net, right to the hands of the keeper. The keeper had to reach to her right to pick that one up. Still 70 degrees. The wind has picked up slightly. It's probably about 10 to 12 miles an hour now. 10 to 12 degrees. It'd be awful cold for late April. Greenwood trying to respond. Get an equalizing goal. Comes Jaden Davis crashing in. They'll knock it away, and it'll be a corner kick for Greenwood, the second one of the game. 90 seconds into the second half here. Kelsey Blackwell's lone goal's been all the scoring in this one. So it will be Gatesman to take the corner kick. Corner kicks away right to the center of the net. Knocked away. It looked like it could have been a handball for Greenwood, but Jaden will pick it up. She'll boot this one down the field. Now she's kicking into the wind. So it'll be a throw-in for Mountain Home. Greenwood has a couple ball children running around. Two boys on this side. Looks like two girls on the far side. So throw in from the football goal line. This one bounces in, still hovering around the 18-yard box. High arcing kick in the air, go out of bounds. Be a goal kick for Greenwood. Big news today. Saw it on the ride over here, those of you that watch basketball in the state. Erica Leak, that was the women's coach at West Memphis, has taken the job at UAPB. That's a big move out east. I don't think I've ever seen this many coaching changes in the sport of basketball ever. Basketball, there's a handful in football. There's all kinds everywhere. It's just real strange change. It's tell the times right now. This one bounces in. Dangerous looking ball, but it'll bounce straight in the air. Picked up by McLean. This one knocked out of bounds. Still Mountain Home's ball. Kendra will throw this one in. Go down the sideline, bouncing inside the coach's box for the football field. Blackwell corral it. Earn her teal cleats. Go to the far sideline now. Rounding out the 30. Now down to the 10. And this one will go out of play. About 5 minutes into this second half of action. Lady Bombers still have the only goal in this game. Now Greenwood coming along the far sideline. Weaving through traffic, now two Bulldogs run into each other. It's corralled by another Bulldog, and Jaden will go to the knees to scoop this one up. So I'm trying to see on this end. Who's 40? Okay, Abby, she had to change jerseys, I guess. Abby left her jersey at home, so now instead of number 6, she's number 40. I've been trying to think the last 5 minutes, and I've seen her out there. The last 5 minutes I've tried to think, who's 40? And Abby left her jersey at home. It happens. Happens when you're dealing with high school kids. If I had a nickel for every time I've seen someone from Mountain Home leave their jersey at home when we come to Greenwood, I'd only have 2 nickels, which is not a lot. But it's crazy that it happened twice, as we'll have a stoppage here. Muggs Harris last year, we came to Greenwood. He wasn't his doing. The number 3 jersey that he normally wears was not available, as it was either left at home, so he had to wear number 4 instead, and he shot the lights out with it. So we're ready to resume play here, 34-30. As it'll just be a drop. It will go off the foot of Hill. Just past 6 o'clock here. Lady Bombers did come victorious in the JV game. They won 2-0 in that one. Greenwood trying to respond. They desperately need a point to stay close to 4th place. Both of these teams really would like to walk away with an outright win, but a tie would not hurt either side. Mountain Home needs a win to keep their state tournament hopes alive, as they would head to Greenbrier on Tuesday. Assuming the Greenbrier Panthers take care of business against Alma, which, stranger things have happened. Alma's not won a game yet. Well, actually, they've won 1 game against Van Buren. They tied against Van Buren as well. Stranger things have happened. So you never know. So assuming that Greenbrier wins, Mountain Home would be 2 games behind Greenbrier. They snag a win and then snag a win on senior night. Need a little help, but they could still make it in. There's a path. They need a smidgen of help, however. The boys is pretty simple. If they win the next 3, they'll be in. As the boys currently occupy 4th place right now, they have a slight advantage over the Bulldogs that they'll see tonight. Of course, it's a 3-horse race at the top, as Russellville, Siloam, and who's the other one I'm thinking of? Van Buren is at the top 3 of that conference. And then 4th place occupied by Mountain Home, Greenwood, point behind Mountain Home, and then Harrison, who took a shocking result the other night, as Greenbrier, who's now tied with the Goblins, went over to Harrison and won 5-0. So it's a big jumbled mess. And then you have Alma in 8th, which Alma's still very competitive. This hit off the face of, I believe, was that Dettelbach? That was Bella. That was Bella over here, as she is down. Bella Dotson, it looked like, as she took a straight shot to the face. Oh, that was a hard lick to the head. She went down to the ground immediately. Coach King and the training staff from Greenwood here checking Bella out. Well, we have a stoppage. It is coming up next week. The school choice deadline will be on May 1st. Mountain Public Schools currently accepting from students interested in participating in the school choice program The School Choice Act 560 of 2015, authorized by the Arkansas General Assembly, empowers parents to seek admission for their children in participating school districts other than their residential district. To be deemed eligible for the approaching school year, applications for the upcoming school year, the 24-25 term, must be received on or before May 1st, 2024. Applications should be submitted to the non-resident district, which will then notify the resident district of the filed application. Assignments will be determined based on available space, and applicants will receive notification of acceptance or rejection by July 1st. So that's exciting coming up as Bella's to her feet. They'll go to the sideline, check her out. As this is just a drop ball as they resume play. 32 minutes to go in this ball game. Lady Bombers with a 1-0 lead. Trying to keep their state tournament hopes alive. The thing that's really kind of hurt the conference as a whole, all these teams in the middle, is nobody's really tying. Everyone's getting outright victories, so that makes the deficit a lot harder versus you look on the boys' side. I believe everyone from 3rd through 7th has at least 2 ties so far. The Lady Bombers really need just an outright victory today. Glad you're here with us on the Bombers Sports Network or watching on the Mountain Home Athletics app or at mhbombersports.com. As this one's in front of the net, knocked away. Good job by the Lady Bombers to knock that one away. That was a dangerous opportunity. Davis was sprawling in front of the net, and it was wide open, but thankfully it came down to a Lady Bomber, and I believe it'll be a goal kick for Mountain Home. It will be. Nikita will kick it away. A golden opportunity squandered by the Bulldogs. Wind's still picking up. It's probably about 15 miles an hour now as time's ticking away. As the clock is stopped at 30:42. I'm not exactly sure why it stopped. And well, it looks like the center official is giving an explanation to Coach Post on the far sideline. You see him. He's in the green jersey just to the left of your screen at about the 20. He's giving some form of explanation that Coach Post does not seemingly like. There's a lot of arm flailing going on, but I think he's just going to accept it. So we'll resume play here with a goal kick. And the Lady Bombers knock away a big opportunity for the Bulldogs. I believe the clock will resume on the whistle, as now the officials are now talking on the near sideline. Not exactly sure what the delay is. I don't think there wasn't anything that I happen to notice that stuck out. Anything, you guys see anything? Okay, all three of us are clueless up here, so. So again, very strange set of circumstances. They're going to wave, the official will wave his arm, and the clock will resume. So a very strange dynamic in this game. The two assistant referees, the ones that you see on the sidelines with the flags, they were the two lone officials in this game in the first half, and then the gentleman that's in the center now was not here in the first half. So it's almost as if it's a brand new ball game. So if you have, those of you that don't know, there usually are three officials in a soccer match. one head official and then 2 assistant officials, or assistant referees. They're called ARs. You'll hear them. ARs do not have a whistle, but they have a flag. Their responsibility is any foul that's in their zone, which is pretty much 50 from the 50-yard line to the goal line. If they see anything close to them they think is a foul, you'll see them wave their flag in the air. If you see them point their flag straight across, that means it's offside. You'll see them wave it in the air also. If they point to the corner flag, it's a corner kick, or if they point like they did just now, it'll be a goal kick if it goes out of bounds. You'll also see them make decisions on out-of-bounds plays if it's either Mountain Home or Greenwood ball. The only official with a whistle is the gentleman in the middle. He is the judge, jury, and executioner of this game. As Blackwell is toppled over, as we're under 30 minutes to go now. Lady Bombers still with a 1-0 lead. Good opportunity for Greenwood now right in front of the net, as this will go into the goal and be a goal for Greenwood. .58:50 to go. Davis was just a step behind where the ball was, and she wasn't able to scoop it up. So Greenwood has the equalizer with .28:50 to go, almost close to the same time that a goal happened for Mountain Home in the first half. So we've resumed play. Greenwood pushing the other way now as we have a whistle, as Kendra Medley's going to talk to the official. Not a fan of that call, but it'll be a free kick for Greenwood. Now the momentum fully swung the other way. This one right towards the net. Davis gets a mid on it, punches it over the goal, and it'll be a corner kick for the Bulldogs. A very decent crowd here on this afternoon. Small contingent of Lady Bomber fans in front of us here. But a very, very decent crowd for a rescheduled game on a Thursday. Here comes the corner kick in front of the net, just outside the outstretched glove of Davis, but Mountain Home will come up with it. Now they'll go to the other side as Dettelbach, now wearing 40, tried to corral, but it'll go out of bounds. Greenwood will take possession. 27-27 to go. 1-1 our score. Greenwood got the equalizer. Mountain Home trying to get out of there. Lauren Rawls comes up with it, took a funky bounce. She whiffed on it, but she'll still maintain possession along the near sideline as they go out of bounds. Greenwood, the cross is right in front of, there was a Bulldog crashing the net, but Davis was able to get to it. And she'll boot this one away. It'll fall just to the right of the 50. Greenwood trying to take the lead here. So they'd like to remain a game behind Greenbrier at the end of the night, which would set up a big game as offside is called, but it goes right to the mitts of Jaden Davis nonetheless. High arcing kick will sail onto the track. Rawls will throw in on the near sideline, even with the 45-yard line on the football field. Throws it right to Greenwood. Now she'll collect it again. It'll go out of bounds, actually. Stay with Mountain Home. Comes Lily Hinson. Had a good look at the goal in the first half. Good opportunity, just couldn't cash in. Under 25 to go now in this one. The Bombers led for a majority of this game. Greenwood tied it about 4 minutes ago. Hill will throw right to Greenwood. It'll go out of bounds. Mountain Home will have it once again, about 20 yards further to the left. Hill will throw again. Nobody there to get it. As this will go out of bounds. Be another throw in. Mountain Home just moving further and further down the sideline. Whitten Coleman into the game now, as this was headed out of bounds, and it's picked up by Greenwood. It'll be a goal kick. .40 remaining in this one. 1-1 our score. See the Bomber soccer team starting to file out as they're going to get their pregame underway. Coach David Martin, head coach Nathan Kreiner, and assistant Monfred Hensler will get them warmed up to the right of us here to get ready for this very crucial boys game. You'd have to assume that both boys teams will have the same results next week. Well, it's not really fair to assume, but just guessing. Both teams have Greenbrier and Alma remaining. So whoever wins tonight will control their own destiny for the remainder of the season to go to the Class 5A state tournament. Another throw in for Mountain Home at the 22-minute mark of this second half. We've got Athlete of the Year. Banquet will take place on the 7th. This is launched toward the net. It goes in! Nikita Brunette from 30 yards out gives the Lady Bombers the lead. With 21:46 left in the game, Nikita bombs one from the 20-yard line. Perfect positioning on that. And she's untied the ball game. What a shot. That was awesome. It was just past the outstretched glove of the keeper for Greenwood. Now Greenwood on the counterattack, trying to pounce quickly. as we'll have a whistle and a free kick. It's going to take place right at the 20. It's a very marginal contact, but it's hard to hear up here. We're locked up here in the box. Windows don't open. There's not a path to the outside world from up here. This free kick's on the way as Jaden Davis skies to get this one. Very similar looking ball. But Jaden was able to corral that one as this high arcing kick's going to bounce at the 40. About halfway through this second half, as Kelsey Blackwell and Nikita Burnett have scored the 2 goals for Mountain Home to give them a lead. As Coleman fighting for the ball, gets tripped up twice. If the doc, Brad Coleman, is watching from home. If it was Friday, he'd have made the trip, but this got moved to Saturday. He is a working man after all. Medley skips this one to the far side, tried to get it to her sister as Hinson's barreled over. Kendra gave it to Lily as this will get knocked out of bounds and stay with Mountain Home. Under 20 minutes to go. High arcing kick is going to go left of the net. If Rawls is able to get it, she won't be able to. So can't confirm. The doc is watching from the comfort of his own home. Couple familiar faces here, though, for Mountain Home. See the Hinsons I talk to every game. They're here. Neil Rawls is here. Good contingent of Bomber fans in front of us here, about 8 or so. I believe more will show up closer to the boys' game. There's football season right around the corner. You'll be able to hear the doc, Brad Coleman, and his cavalcade of stars. Mainly Tobias Pugsley, but he has other friends that join him as well. All starts with that first game. I believe it's either Rolla or West Plains. I know our friendly rival is the Week 2 game. Should be a fun football season. They're cranking things up. Spring football. Walk through that weight room. A lot of weight getting moved in there. Coach Jerry's got that group rolling. As this will be a goal kick for Mountain Home. Yeah, Tuesday's going to be wild. I'm not going to lie. So the softball team, they've pretty much locked up third place. A lot of crazy things would need to happen for them to move down to fourth. But the Bomber baseball team, there's paths to, very unlikely path to second, but there are very likely paths to third and fourth, and there's even paths where they can miss it. Doc Coleman's watching the best broadcast in the state, so I appreciate that. See, Bombers soccer again. This game very crucial. Whoever wins tonight will pretty much control their own destiny to go to the 5A state tournament. If they tie, Mountain Home would still be in good shape as they would have the lead points-wise over Greenwood. Of course, Coach Tyler Woods will not be here tonight for the Bulldogs. He is sick. So stepping in will be Athletic Director Chris Young. Might know that name. He is the American football coach here. Of course, I did not know that, if I heard correctly, Chris Young played soccer for UCA. I would have had no idea. Yeah, looked it up. Yeah, class of, didn't say what class, but yeah, he was a Purple Bear. He was on the soccer team there. So that, he definitely has a wealth of knowledge in this sport too. That's become a new trend. Athletic directors coming in to coach now. Try to skip it to Dettelbach. Dettelbach wearing 40 now as this gets scooped up harmlessly by the keeper of Greenwood. 15:30 left in this one. Lady Bombers have a lead. Just a few more weeks left in the athletic season. Then we'll go quiet for 3 months. There will still be summer practices for all of our sports, but you have this week, what's left of it, then next week, and then the week after, state tournaments. And Lord willing, we'll have a team in the state finals the week after. Bomber baseball and softball. Again, they'll play on Tuesday at Alma. We'll have the softball games for you. Weather permitting, the weather forecast does not look too friendly, but I believe there might be a window to fit them in on Tuesday. The thing that's difficult is their facilities, at least their baseball, softball, are natural grass and dirt. Unlike our facility at home, our softball field all turf, and our baseball field is a turf infield as Greenwood is swapping out keepers. We'll see what this other one does. If she's going to flip over and put on a forward uniform and try to launch a bigger attack for Greenwood in the remaining minutes. I have a whistle and a free kick. It'll be at the 20. It'll be for Mountain Home. Nikita will take this one. Bomber, Lady Bomber soccer will both be at Greenbrier on Tuesday. And then they'll have senior night on Friday against the Airedales of Alma. That'll be the last home event of the year. Also taking place, softball will be welcoming Valonia to town. I believe Valonia, they're fairly high up in their conference. This one's scooped up by the new keeper in for Greenwood. Let's see. Remember last year they were very high up. I believe now, yeah, they're sitting at 10-2, so that'll be a good test for Mountain Home. Valonia sitting third in the 5A Central. As I said, a game behind Maumelle and Beebe. I said 2 games behind Beebe, who's undefeated in that conference. Greenwood trying to launch an attack here. Good centering pass. It's knocked away by Medley. And Blackwell pushed this one down the field. Now to Hinson, who'll turn on the Jets. Hey, what straight line speed. I have not seen many players in general in any sport have the speed Lily Hinson has. This will go out of bounds and will go to Greenwood, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Bomber baseball's got a game Friday, or tomorrow. So they'll take on Fair Grove, Missouri. If you don't know where that's at, that's around the Springfield area. Action will begin there tomorrow at 4:30 with the varsity game. They're going to play a 7-inning game. And then they'll play a JV game, and they'll get out of there. Again, weather permitting, of course. Keep you updated on all our respective social medias and on the Mountain Home Athletics app. Fairgrove is looking it up now. For whatever reason, the school district here has Google Maps blocked, which doesn't make any sense, but 11:30 to go in this one. Greenwood on the counterattack. They have something cooking here. They'll launch it toward the net, right to the diving hands of Jaden Davis. She'll take her time. She'll boot this one down the field. Comes down at the 30-yard line, now the 25. Greenwood still mounting an attack. Blackwell, good job keeping it in front of her. Now she comes up with it. Now they'll go to the far side. Scoop back to the middle to Blackwell. She'll touch pass it to Rawls. Now they'll give it ahead to Didi. Didi Martinez in pursuit. Knocks a girl down. Now it's scooped to the other side of the opposite 20. Makeda couldn't get a hold of that one. She whiffed on it. And this will come back this way. Greenwood hanging around the 18-yard box. Mountain Home playing suffocating defense. So now they've moved their formation a little further back to try to defend and keep this 2-1 lead. And Mountain Home would be in a tie for 5th place. Heading into next week with a big game, a big game against Greenbrier, as looks like she was offside, but it might have been by just a half step, but the assistant official thought otherwise. But it's scooped up harmlessly by the keeper of Mountain Home, Jaden Davis. This will bounce at the 45, take a friendly bounce. It's still going, and hurtling towards the bench is a Greenwood player. It will be a throw-in for Greenwood with 9:50 to go. Lady Bombers would certainly need both games to be victories next week and then hope for a little bit of help. Well, there is still a path to make it for these Lady Bombers. $9:10 to go in this one. We'll have a free kick here after the infraction. Greenwood's back line is pushed to the other side of the 50. Very pushed up. This ball launching toward the net. Bounces, comes down to a Greenwood Bulldog. It's headed away the opposite direction. 8:25 to go. So knocked out of bounds, off touch by Greenwood. Mountain Home taking their time throwing these in. You can do that. The official thinks it's too much of a delay. They can yellow card you or even halt the game. Rarely see that. You saw that at home the other night when Mountain Home, I believe it was against, I want to say, Siloam Springs. Now Mountain Home has an opportunity here. Dettelbach had it. Coleman kicked it ahead. Now comes bouncing back to Hinson. The center now to Rawls and back to Hinson. Tried to skip it over to Dettelbach. Now Blackwell has it. Blackwell's knocked over, and they're going to keep playing. They're going to say it was all ball. Now it'll come down to the near sideline to Greenwood. They're in pursuit, and they won't be able to save it. It'll go out of play just to the left of the flagstick. There goes Coach Young and his ball club on the near side. Once again, Coach Tyler Woods out for tonight's ball game with an illness. So the athletic director, Chris Young, will step in to coach the boys tonight. Again, a very, very crucial game for the playoff lives of both teams. They both will have Greenbrier and Alma next week. Mountain Home will have Greenbrier on Tuesday, and Greenwood will have Greenbrier on Friday. The Bombers will have Alma next Friday for senior night, as we'll honor our seniors. Only 3 seniors for the Lady Bombers, and I want to say 6 for the boys, if I remember right. See if I can get you an official count. Oh, there's 3 for sure for the girls. It's Lily, Dee Dee, and Jaden Davis. Am I missing someone? Well, the girls we have up here filming giggling, so made me feel bad. So that'll be Aiden, Kelso Hott, David Honvinkel. Yeah, that's 3. Colin Forsyth, another senior. Kevin McLean, 5. Alex Chen, Dalen, and Isaiah. So I believe 7. My math is correct, as we're at 5.5 to go here. So regardless of what happens today and Tuesday, come on out and support Bomber soccer teams. The last home event of the season, as this is just skipped over to Davis as they mishandled it. Bomber softball will also be playing that day. That starts at 4. So they'll welcome Bologna to town. 4:30, excuse me. The JV contest next week for soccer will begin at 4. The varsity games will be at 5 and 7. We'll have the senior night festivities in between. .440 to go. Greenbrier, they're warming up to the right of us. Interesting looking uniforms that you'll see here shortly, as they're navy blue but striped on the front and solid in navy blue on the back. Coleman trying to come up with it. She's knocked down from behind. Blackwell has it now. Actually, Henson has it now. Weaving through traffic, lost it. Now Greenwood pushes back the other way. Kenna Medley has it. Trying to shield her defender as a whistle, and a foul is called. It'll be a free kick for Greenwood with 3:44 to go. This will be a big game for Mountain Home if they come home with the victory. And move into a tie for 5th place in the 5A West. They would need to win both games next week to have a chance to make the state tournament. And the state tournament held in Hot Springs. As this is launched toward the net, it goes wide of the goal. But the Lady Bombers win both next week, and depending on how Greenwood-Greenbrier goes, I mean, you never know. Of course, Greenbrier's girls playing very well. They picked up a victory the other day. Greenbrier currently occupying the 4th spot in the state playoffs, as they have remaining. They will come to Mountain Home and they'll come to Greenwood. So all 3 of the teams fighting for 4th will play each other in the next week and a half. Greenbrier is at Alma tonight. See if that game is kicked off yet. And we are there at halftime, and Greenbrier are halfway to halftime, and it's tied 0-0 over there. With about 2:12 remaining in this one. Two minutes to go in this one. Lady Bombers still with the lead. Medley in pursuit. Now she'll kick it backwards. 90 seconds to go. Minute 10 to go. Greenwood trying to get an equalizing goal. This is knocked away, under a minute to go now. It'll be a goal kick for Mountain Home. They're taking their time with this one. 45 seconds left. Substitution coming on for Greenwood. This kick by Burnett is kicked away, picked up by Greenwood, trying to launch one more attack with 30 seconds left. Medley has it now. Now they're going to try to kill time and boot it down the field. It goes off the heel of Blackwell. Now to the far side. Henson in pursuit. She's going to win this race down to 10 seconds, or down to 12 seconds. Going across the near side in front to Dettelbach. Dettelbach runs into the keeper. The keeper scoops it up. Down to 3, down to 2, and down to 1, and that's going to do it. So the Lady Bombers have come to Greenwood and taken this game, and they keep their state tournament hopes alive with a 2-1 victory here in Greenwood. So now they will move to 4-8. Greenwood will fall to 4-8, and awaiting the final score of Greenbrier and Alma, find out if they're 1.5, or 2 games behind the Greenbrier Panthers, who are sitting in a 0-0 tie at Alma. So we'll keep you updated on that one. But final score, Lady Bombers win 2-1. We will take a short little break, and we'll get things set up for you in the boys' game. We'll have the let's see how much time they put up. They're going to put 15 minutes on the clock, and they've run it, so the boys' game will start in 15 minutes or so. You're watching Bomber Soccer on the Bomber Sports Network. Again, final score, Lady Bombers win 2-1.
Hello, Bombers. This week, I'm going to highlight our amazing transportation department. Our transportation staff is second to none. Here's a little trivia to test your knowledge about this department. Question 1. How many routes does our transportation department have? A, 18, B, 42, C, 55. The correct answer is B. We run 42 routes in the morning and 42 routes in the afternoon. How many students take the bus on average each day? A, 900, B, 1,600, or C, 2,300? The correct answer is C. 2,300 students ride our buses each day on average. That is about 60% of our student population. Approximately how many miles do our 42 routes cover each day? A, 700, B, 1,500, or C, 2,000? The correct answer is C. Over 2,000 miles are traveled each day. We live in one of the most geographically broad school districts in the state, so our buses travel very far distances every day. I bet some of you were pretty surprised about our answers to our trivia. Several of our drivers are retirees. Many of them had completely different careers before they joined us in the transportation department. Elected officials, therapists, we even have a driver who is an interior designer. Part of our transportation staff and drivers is made up of teacher drivers that drive the routes before and after school. If any of you are interested in joining this amazing department by becoming a driver, please feel free to reach out to us. Have a fantastic weekend, and go Bombers!
Back here at Smith Robinson Stadium, ready to get the boys' game underway here in Greenwood. Glad you're here with us on the Bomber Sports Network, wherever you may be watching. It's a very important game tonight in the 5A West. Both of these teams jockeying for position for that fourth and final state tournament spot. As we're underway here in Greenwood. Greenwood moving from right to left in front of us here. Mountain Home from left to right on your TV screen. Mountain Home in their road white jerseys with blue trim along the side, blue shorts, white socks, sorted colors of cleats. Greenwood in their all navy uniforms, white stripes across the front with a big G on the chest. White numerals as well, Bombers with blue numerals. Lady Bombers with a big victory. They got the W 2-1 to keep their state tournament hopes alive. As we'll take another peek at Alma and Greenbrier, it is 0-0 at halftime of that game. That would be a big-time blow to the Panthers if they escape there with a tie, or even crazier enough, a loss. But we'll keep you updated on that one. So we had to play this game today because, yes, well, there's a lot of precipitation in the area tomorrow and the next couple of days, so the weather would have been icky. You look on the weather radar, courtesy of the National Weather Service, on the bottom right of your screen. It's all clear here where that dot is, the left portion of the state. A lot of precipitation roaming through northeast Arkansas. It's supposed to look pretty icky the next couple of days, though, all throughout Arkansas, pretty much through the whole Midwest. Again, that courtesy of the National Weather Service. As you may be new to the game of soccer, if this is your first time watching, whether you're on the Mountain Home Bombers Athletics app, watching at mhsports.com, or watching on the Bomber Sports Network, they play two 40-minute halves. Two 40-minute halves, and if there's a tie at the end of that 40 or the 80 minutes of gameplay, then there's no overtime. They used to do PKs, but now it's just go home in a tie. It's a very crucial game for both sides. The winner will more than likely be in the driver's seat and control their own destiny the rest of the season. Basically, if you win tonight and then you win the next two, then you would more than likely make the state tournament. Of course, Harrison, a game behind both of these teams, a game behind Greenwood, and a game and a half behind Mountain Home, essentially. And then Greenbrier, who's playing very well right now, came out with a 5-0 victory over Harrison the other night. Very, very strange outcome in that one. Greenbrier was sitting in 7th place all alone in the conference the other night. Top three is pretty well decided. I think they're pretty close to determining the order. It's Van Buren, Siloam, and Russellville. Siloam and Russellville playing tonight. Van Buren and Harrison, I believe they got moved, or they're staying to tomorrow. So we're about 4 minutes into this one, as it will be a corner kick for Greenwood. Aiden Sanders, the Bomber keeper, in the light blue goalie uniform with a black and white stripe across the shoulders. Comes down to the foot of a Bomber. Now it comes back the other way. Here come the Bombers. Coming back the other way, trying to make a man miss. They don't. Good to have you with us here at Smith Robinson Stadium. I am Dylan Conley on behalf of the Mountain Home School District. Glad to have you here in just back 24 hours JV game. Lady Bombers won 2-0. Then the girls varsity game, Lady Bombers won 2-1. And now we're here at the boys game. Aiden Sanders will come out of net to take this free kick right on the 50-yard line. Big booming kick, bounced inside the 10-yard line. This will go out of bounds right next to acting head coach this evening, Chris Young. He is the athletic director of Greenwood. He's also the head American football coach. This is booed toward the net, just wide of the net. Sanders was way up high, almost to the edge of the 18-yard box, but he retreated, and it just sailed just wide of the net. Be a goal kick for Aiden Sanders. This kick, low kick. This one bounces the other way. Mountain Home coming into this game 12-8-3 overall, 3-6-2 in the conference. That's 3 wins, 6 losses, and 2 ties. It's one thing that's a stark contrast from the girls' conference. There are a lot of ties in this conference. The top 3 in the conference and the bottom team in the conference do not have a tie. Everyone else has at least 2. So everyone's just kind of in the middle, just beating up on each other. Mountain Home has 2 ties. Greenwood and Harrison both have 3, and Greenbrier has 2 ties. But Mountain Home is the only one of the 4 with 3 victories. So they have that advantage there. It is a very slim advantage. But an advantage is still an advantage. I think Lady Bombers are packing up. They're going to head to the house. Do not blame them at all. It is still school night. They do have a young lady on the Lady Bomber soccer program that has perfect attendance. Addison Ferris, also a member of the Lady Bomber basketball team, has perfect attendance. Which, if you know how big our travel is in this conference and all of our sports that they take, you know that's a big accomplishment. About 10 minutes to go, or 10 minutes into this first half, excuse me. This one bounced in front. It's a dangerous opportunity as this will go wide of the net and be a goal kick for Mountain Home. Job by the Bomber defense to halt that opportunity. A lot of big things coming up here in the Mountain Home School District. The Athlete of the Year will be presented on the 7th, night before the Bomber basketball banquets will take place. Well, Real Life Church. Get your tickets now in the athletic office. Here they come to the right side of the net, charging towards the goal. Goalie has to make a sliding save. It's picked up. That was David Honwinkle. Try to get to Garrett Barr as we'll have a stoppage. Honwinkle's down. As he's up to his feet. Clock has resumed. We're at the 30-minute mark now here in the first half. That was Greenwood across the front of the net, right to the chest of Aiden Sanders. Aiden wearing number 1. Still a lot to decide here across our spring sports for the next week. Pretty much the only one that's set is the Lady Bomber softball team. They're in 3rd place. They will stay in 3rd place unless something crazy happens where they can jump to 2nd or 4th, but 99% sure they will be 3rd. We'll have both of their games for you on Tuesday as they're on the road, down the road in Alma. We'll have that doubleheader for you, and after that we'll have state tournament programming. We haven't figured out what we're going to do yet because we don't know who's all in yet. We know softball's in, that's for sure, but the way everything sits right now, they could be the only ones that make it, or we could have all 4 teams still with an opportunity to make it. That would be a lot to handle, but it would be a good lot to handle. .28 and some change left now in this first half. A substitution comes on. Kelso in pursuit of that one gets twisted around. We'll have a whistle and an infraction is called. Will be a free kick for the Bombers. 27:35 to go. Kick's on the way. It's a good-looking kick. It's going to go right of the net and go out of bounds and be a goal kick for the Bulldogs. Greenwood's goalkeeper in a green digital camo uniform, long black pants and gray cleats. Have 3 officials in this one. Started the girls' game with 2 officials. That was very interesting. They're all clad in yellow. The 2 assistant officials that you see there on the near and the far sideline holding flags, they were both center officials, as the center official was not able to make it yet. So they got to halftime, and the center official shows up, and he just hops in. Had no clue how the flow of the game was going, so needless to say, things changed in the second half. One back. Here comes Greenwood. They have a pretty decent attack mounting now. They cross it over the middle. High bouncing kick will go wide of the net. It'll be a goal kick for Aiden Sanders. Say the possession's been about even. If anything, Greenwood has possessed the ball more than Mountain Home has, but they haven't been able to launch a steady attack, as this will go out of play as pieces of cut up turf equal at the 50. There's one piece. The edge of it is laying on the playing surface, so hopefully that doesn't affect anything. All quiet here in Greenwood. No score yet. No baseball or softball game going on behind the bleachers you see in front of you. This is the main event here in Greenwood. Have a whistle and an infraction will go against Greenwood. It'll be a free kick for Mountain Home from the 35-yard line on the football field. Alex Chen will kick this away. High arcing kick bounces the edge of the 18-yard box. A lot of contact. Still in front of the net, trying to fight for it. Still trying, and this one will go into the net. It is a goal for Mountain Home. So a big scramble in front of the net, and Mountain Home takes a 1-0 lead. So back underway. A big mismatch of people in front of the net leads to a goal that just trickles into the net, and Mountain Home has a lead. This one high, straight up in the air to go out of bounds. Another score very interesting to note that relates to our Lady Bombers is Alma and Greenbrier currently knotted up at 0 in the second half. As this one tried to launch it, didn't get any air under it, bounced in front of the net. We have the assistant referee waving his flag in the air. He called a handball, or they're calling a handball. And it'll be a goal kick for Aiden Sanders, who sprawled out for that one. Kick is high and away, goes across the 50, takes a Mountain Home bounce right down to a Greenwood player. 1-0 our score. Bombers get one across. Let's go out of play and be a Greenwood throw-in. And Mountain Home would increase their lead in the 5A West standings. Mountain Home trying to put another one across. About halfway through this first half, Bombers with a 1-0 lead. This one's saved out of bounds by Greenwood. Now it's bounced off of Mountain Home out of bounds. Ball's thrown into the 15. Bounces down at the 10. Now it's a good-looking bounce and a lot of contact inside the box as they're going to play the advantage. Gets it out to Barr. Mountain Home on the counterattack. It was marginal contact that they didn't think affected anything. If anything, it was more slanted towards Mountain Home. Under 20 minutes to go now. So it'll go out of play, be a throw in for Greenwood. High arcing kick will make its way into the 18-yard box. Now it'll go past and go wide of it and out of play, and a throw in for Mountain Home. Aiden Sanders laid this one down between the 9 and the 10-yard line. This will fall, actually, they're keep it in bounds, Greenwood will, and it ends up going out of bounds anyway. A throw in for Mountain Home. They come the other way. Mountain Home corralling this one. So I've received confirmation you do get 3 points for a victory in the conference. So it's 3 points for a victory, 1 point for a tie, and none for a loss. I don't know, for some reason I always think it's 2 points for a win, as this is scooped up by Greenwood's keeper. So right now, Mountain Home has, 11 points. Greenwood currently sits at 9 points. Harrison also sits at 9, and Greenbrier sits at 8. So it's not a comfortable margin to say the least, but if Mountain Home can get a victory tonight, if my math is correct, they would only need a victory at some point next week to get in to the state playoffs. Or they would take on, more than likely, if they stay at 4, which they will, and nothing changes down south, they would take on the host school, Hot Springs Lakeside, in round number 1. But again, still a lot to figure out here. Now, even with a tie, Mountain Home would control its own destiny next week. If they were to win both next week, then they would be in, because Harrison and Greenbrier would not be able to catch them. It starts to get iffy when you get more ties and losses mixed in there. Mountain Home trying to expand the lead. Greenwood trying to tie it back up. Fifteen and a half to go in the first half. Under 15 to go now. Greenwood will throw in. They'll launch this one. Goes to the middle of the 18-yard box. Now it's bounced back the other way. This will float out of play and be a throw-in for Greenwood. Substitutions on the field. As we'll resume play. This one will roll and roll, go out of play, and be a throw-in for Mountain Home. Kelso hot with the ball now. Very talented member of the choir. One of the seniors that will be honored next week as the Bombers will take on Alma. If you haven't heard Kelso sing, you need to. He's very good. He's also a kicker for the Mountain Home Bomber football team. He had a game-winning kick against Russellville. Goal kick coming up for Mountain Home. Sanders boots this one. Little arc to it. Bounces at the 50 right to the head of Kelso Hot. Now it's going to bounce backwards and go back to the 50. Mountain Home trying to settle it down. $11:40 to go. As I have a score update, Greenbrier has pushed a goal across in that girls' game. It's now 1-0. That's big for the girls' standings if that ends up being a tie or if Alma were to come back and win. This takes a crazy bounce. It's scooped up by Greenwood. 11:14 to go in the first half. Sun beginning to set here. Kick crossed the net, and oh my goodness, they have scored from the right side of the 18-yard box. A good ball. That was a really good kick, and just like that, we're tied at 1. I didn't think that had any chance to get in, but it started to curve the other way and outside the outstretched glove of Aiden Sanders. So now we're all tied up here in Greenwood. Oh, my goodness. So now with 10:59 left in the first half, Mountain Home has allowed a goal, and now we're tied at 1. I didn't think from our angle that had any chance to get in, but it started to curve a little bit and was put in just the perfect spot. And now we sit tied at 1. Free kick for Greenwood. Take it at the 45. They're going to roll it. Now they go back to the 50. Bounces off Mountain Home. Now it's kicked backwards. This is going closer and closer to Mountain Home's net, and it's scooped up by Aiden Sanders, the goalie for Mountain Home. Aiden, a state champion in cross country. This is a high arcing kick. This will bounce at the 35. It's about even with the light poles. So we're under 10 minutes to go in this first half. This would throw a wrench into things if this stays a 1-1 ball game. Nine minutes to go. Greenwood trying to get another one across. As we'll have a substitution coming on. Mountain Home's back 4. Pushed back ever so slightly. Try to slow down the momentum, maybe take this to as a 1-1 draw into halftime. Now this will bounce out of play and go to Greenwood for a throw-in. So with a win tonight, if Greenwood is able to push another one across, they move 1 point ahead of Mountain Home for 4th place. If they were to get a tie, Mountain Home's lead would be trimmed down to 1 point heading into next week with 2 very big games, one of which is on the road at Greenbrier, and the other one is senior night versus Alma. One will go harmlessly out of play and be a goal kick for Greenwood. Ball's in the air. It's going into the wind. It bounces at the 45, comes back to the right side. Vaulted straight in the air. Now it's pushed by Mountain Home to the other side. Find the near side, try to get it to Honvinkel, but it's broken up. Appreciate everyone watching on the Bomber Sports Network. Feel free to shoot me a text. Tell me if you're tuned in tonight. This is a fairly interactive broadcast. We've had to mute the the live comments lately. Had a few stragglers from opposing schools coming in, and not saying just the greatest things in the world, but thankfully none of our people have done that. This high arcing kick bounces at the 50 on the G in the middle of the field. .606 to go. Mountain Home had an early goal and then gave one up from close to an impossible angle. Weaving through traffic was Barr, tried to cross it in, looked like Brewer, and they're wanting a handball. They're not going to get one, and well, they will end up with one, but it'll be a goal kick nonetheless. Barr launches this one toward the net. It'll go out of play. Breaking news in the sports world. Caleb Williams has been selected #1 overall by the Chicago Bears. NFL draft, of course, taking place tonight. Meanwhile, we have non-American football here for you tonight. Speaking of football, interesting development happening today. Coach Tyler Woods of the Bulldogs is sick today. Tested positive for some disease, excuse me. And athletic director and head football coach Chris Young has stepped in. Of course, Young, a former UCA soccer player himself, knows the game very well. Handling the head coaching duties this evening. Greenwood trying to mount another goal before halftime as we're at the 4-minute mark here on the Bomber Sports Network. Throwing to go to the edge of the 18-yard box. Hott tried to break it up, but it bounced past him. Now Mountain Home trying to launch a counterattack, but Greenwood snags it back. It's pushed back the other way. Coach Young scoops this one up. It'll be a throw-in for Greenwood. Bounce to the the far sideline. As they go out of play, stays with Greenwood in front of the Mountain Home bench. So it is going to go out of play. It stays with Greenwood again. Another throw in, but it'll be 20 yards to the left. Yeah, more like 15 yards, but this one will bounce out of play again. They keep moving, just matriculating their way down the field on throw-ins with 2:45 to go in the first half. Out of contact as a Greenwood Bulldog is thrown to the ground. Very physical game. The girls' game was very physical. I went down there, congratulate Coach King. They had a lot of kids with on both sides noses plugged up and bloody noses. There'll be some bruises tonight. .222 to go in this first half. 1-1 our score. Couldn't tell who the goal was on for Mountain Home. It was a mass of humanity in front of the net, and the ball just sprinkled into the goal. Be a free kick for Mountain Home at the 24 on the football field. Aiden Sanders boots this one. This is a long kick. Goes to the 25. It'll come back this way. They'll set it up. It looked like, well, it might have been trying to go to Barr, but it was mishandled. Alma has responded in this girls' game with an equalizer. It is 1-1. So that is a big game for Mountain Home State Tournament hopes on the girls' side. 1:10 to go in the ball game. This was launched toward the net, right to the chest of Aiden Sanders. Sanders punts this one in the air. Under a minute to go now. Ball coming back this way, and they're going to say Brewer was offsides. Said he didn't make it back onside before he got to it, but it'll be a kick for Greenwood, a free kick. Greenwood wanting a handball, but was below the player's belt, even with his knee, so it's not a handball. Kelso Hott pushing ahead as a big-time slide tackle as Greenwood comes up with the ball. Hott topples over as this will go to Sanders, and that'll do it for the first half. It is 1-1 our score as we head into halftime here on the Bomber Sports Network. We'll take a short little break, bring you the second half of action, the exciting conclusion of this one here on the Bomber Sports Network.
Hello, Bombers. It is such a busy time of year, and there are so many great things going on. Some examples from this week include the Hackler 3C graduation, music programs, several other activities, and of course, multiple athletic events. Just a reminder to always look at the announcements from your child's school and the district calendar for updates on all these important events during this wild and crazy, fun time of year. Parents, we will not have school on May 3rd. This is a teacher contract day, and will also serve as our kindergarten and high school registration days. I would like to take a moment to give a shout out to the Mountain Home High School Bomber Band. They won the Class 6A State Concert Band Contest held in Bryant on Wednesday. The band scored a superior First Division rating and is one of a handful of bands that qualified for the Distinguished Band Award for superior ratings at both the State Marching Contest last fall and the State Concert Contest on Wednesday. The Bomber Band was also selected as the 6A State Honor Band for the 2025 year, and they will be featured as a group at the next year's state contest. Promise this weekend, have fun, make great memories, and be safe. Everyone enjoy your weekend, and go Bombers.
Talking with Jeff Kincaid, Guyberry Principal.
Guyberry, we started 12 years ago for the school district to have our own alternative learning environment, and we've really grown since then. We've come a long way. We've had 3 state ALE Teachers of the Year. Mr. Tim Harris won that award 2 years ago, and then this year at State ALE Convention, he was appointed to the Arkansas Association of Alternative Educators State Boards. We're proud to have him on there. It's really been a big blessing.
Visiting with Miss Kristen Goodwin, how would you describe the culture at Hackler? I've always heard it referred to as Happy Hackler.
Well, we are very happy at Hackler. We're very proud of the work that we do at Hackler. I think that we have outstanding students, and we have a faculty and staff that I am immensely proud to work with. They are easy to talk about. They're easy to celebrate because they want what's best for our students, and I'm very proud to be able to lead them.
Here's Mary Beth Russell, Mountain Home High School principal.
So we have a lot of good going on right now at the high school. Think about it. If you're a teenager, you want to come to high school because we have all the things. That's the best part about being in high school is doing the things. Listen, if you can name it, we have a club that fits it. You know, I joke around about we're like New York. We're the high school that never sleeps. We have the mentoring program once a month. Our kids, they get to actually look and see experiences that no other high school in our area provides.
Here's Kyle McCarn, Mountain Home Junior High School principal.
Everybody has a good time at the junior high. We're so proud of what we've been able to accomplish and all of those things. I think the biggest thing we have going at Mountain Home Junior High is just the culture that we have established. We have a ton of teachers and other staff that are encouraged and uplifting and ready for kids to be in our building so they can just create the best environment for learning.
Hello, Bombers. This week, I'm going to highlight our amazing transportation department. Our transportation staff is second to none. Here's a little trivia to test your knowledge about this department. Question 1. How many routes does our transportation department have? A, 18, B, 42, C, 55. The correct answer is B. We run 42 routes in the morning and 42 routes in the afternoon. How many students take the bus on average each day? A, 900, B, 1600, or C, 2300? The correct answer is C. 2,300 students ride our buses each day on average. That is about 60% of our student population. Approximately how many miles do our 42 routes cover each day? A, 700, B, 1,500, or C, 2,000? The correct answer is C. Over 2,000 miles are traveled each day. We live in one of the most geographically broad school districts in the state, so our buses travel very far distances every day. I bet some of you were pretty surprised about our answers to our trivia. Several of our drivers are retirees. Many of them had completely different careers before they joined us in the transportation department. Elected officials, therapists, we even have a driver who is an interior designer. Part of our transportation staff and drivers is made up of teacher drivers that drive the routes before and after school. If any of you are interested in joining this amazing department by becoming a driver, please feel free to reach out to us. Have a fantastic
Back here on the Bomber Sports Network. Second half is underway as the coaching carousel continues across the state of Arkansas basketball. Bologna's head coach Troy Campbell is left to go to Cabot. Holy mackerel. It's been a very unprecedented coaching carousel of people across the state. It'll only get crazier with our spring sports in the summer. As a handball may be called, it will be. So instead of a throw in, it'll be a goal kick or a free kick for the Bulldogs. About a minute into this second half, Greenbrier's girls have pulled away now. It is 3-1 over Alma with about 5 minutes left. So Mountain Home girls will walk into an interesting week next week. This will go out of play and be a goal kick for the Bombers. Two minutes into this second half, still no score. No real major threat on goal just yet. "37 minutes and some change left. Again, a lot of things coming up on the Bomber calendar. Tomorrow, Bomber baseball team will be on the road. They'll head to Fairgrove, Missouri, around Springfield area. They'll take on the Eagles north of the border. Be a varsity JV doubleheader. The varsity game will happen first pitch at 4:30, and the JV contest after. Hey, Bombers softball playing some JV games right now. Probably see some results later. Let's see. Tuesday night, Bomber baseball and softball will be at Alma. We'll have the softball doubleheader for you there from Spinach Country. Simultaneously, as this is crossed over, and it will go out of bounds and be a goal kick for Mountain Home. Bomber and Lady Bomber soccer will be on the road to take on the Panthers of Greenbrier. That's a big game for Mountain Home's boys and girls, both of which trying to stay alive in the 5A West playoff hunt. The girls need some help and some wins. The boys, they pretty much, for the most part, control their own destiny. If they're able to secure a win tonight or at least come away with a tie. Greenbrier's on a hot streak. They defeated Harrison the other night 5-0. Then next Friday, Bombers and Lady Bombers will welcome Alma to town for a soccer triple header. As this launched over the net, it is through the uprights. That would be 3 points if we were playing American football. JV game will be at 4. Varsity games will be at 5 and 7 next Friday. The senior night festivities will take place in between. We'll honor our, I believe, 7 boys seniors and 3 girls seniors. Come on out. Simultaneously at the softball park at Freedom Field, right behind the school, we will have the Lady Bombers taking on the Valonia Eagles. Battle of third-place teams in their respective conference. Lady Bombers third in the West, Valonia third in the Central. Both teams have clinched a spot in the state tournament. 5 minutes into this second half, still 1-1 our score. Both teams trying to take a lead here because a tie really wouldn't change either side's position. It wouldn't hurt their position. But if either side were able to come up with a win, then they would control their destiny next week. Basically, if you win tonight and then you win both next week, whoever that would be, whether it's Greenwood or Mountain Home, would be in the state tournament. We had a stoppage in play. Card was given out. So it's a free kick for Greenwood. Bounces down. Mountain Home trying to mount a counterattack. They flipped ends of the field. Mountain Home now going from right to left in front of you on your screen. Greenwood from left to right. Still in the same uniforms. Mountain Home in predominantly white and Greenwood in blue with white stripes across the front. It looks like gray on your screen. The colors kind of blend together. Cross over to the center of the field, broken up by Mountain Home, and here come the Bombers. $33 to go. Free kick coming for Greenwood. Watch the middle of the box, headed out. Now it's brought back in. Centering pass. This looked like a decent look, and a lot of contact. I don't know if they're going to say it was in or out of the box. They will place it on the edge of the 18-yard box after the infraction. So it'll be close to the 10-yard line, 2 yards outside the 18-yard box. This is a prime scoring position. The officials are going to back everyone up. They have to give 10 yards between the ball and the first defender of Mountain Home. So everyone with their heels on the goal line of the football field. Sanders parked on the right side of his net. And here it comes. Trickles in front, scooped up by Sanders. So the crisis is averted. And a big booming kick launched down the field. A big missed opportunity for the Bulldogs. This one will scoot out of play, be a goal kick for the Bulldogs of Greenwood. Here from Smith Robinson Stadium in beautiful Greenwood. 30 minutes to go in this one. Both teams trying to take a lead here. Pass broken up by Mountain Home. Now they're on the counterattack going the other way. This one is trailed out of bounds as Greenwood is shielding a defender out of play, and we do have a bomber down. It looked like he slid on the edge of the track area there. Clock is still running. Greenwood training staff and Coach Nathan Kreiner are to the aid of who that bomber is. Clock stopped with 29:16 to go. He was being shielded by a defender. Was knocked to the ground and skidded on the turf. The turf starts there. It's in front of the, looks like a triple jump pit. Triple jump or long jump. As we've resumed play with, so we still have coaches on the field on the far side. It's very interesting they would resume play, but I guess the official has dinner plans and wants to get out of here, so the Greenwood trainer and Mountain Home staff will walk the injured bomber over to the bench. They'll have to go the long way, so they're not on the playing surface, but very interesting decision to not have him wait that extra 30 seconds, but we trudge on. .28 minutes to go in this one. Mountain Home would like to get more than just 1 point, as it's basically a four-way battle for one spot in the last spot of the 5A West. Would you believe this is centering pass right in front of the net. Wasn't handled by Greenwood. He's toppled over. Now Mountain Home will try to clear out. And this will get rolled out of bounds and be a throw-in for Greenwood. Greenbrier, West Bellefonte, Mountain Home, and Greenwood all fighting for that last spot in the 5A state tournament, all within 3 points of each other. So wins at this point of the season are huge. Do you believe that these two teams are conference teams? If you looked at a map and found Greenwood and Mountain Home on a map, you'd realize that this isn't the shortest trip in the world. In fact, this is the longest non-football conference game in the state of Arkansas, at 201 miles from the bomber plane to the Bulldogs statue out front here. And you know what? Our kids are tough. They're going to be back in class tomorrow at 8 a.m. I know Miss Dewey and Miss Russell will love that. You know, they say rain, sleet, or snow, or lack of sleep, the Bombers got to go. .26 minutes to go now. Again, Greenwood playing without their head coach tonight, Tyler Woods. He's out with an illness. It is athletic director and head football coach, head American football coach, Chris Young, who has stepped in tonight. Young, a former UCA Bear soccer player himself. He knows a thing or two about the round ball and the pigskin. As a whistle and a foul from behind. About 25 and a half to go now. This will be a free kick for the Bulldogs. Bombers will be on the road to take on Greenbrier. On Tuesday night. Again, weather permitting. This weather is not looking too friendly over the next week and a half across the natural state. The Bombers will welcome the Airedales of Alma to town on Friday. As this is a good-looking ball sent in through as it went a little too far, and they try to save it, but it'll go wide of the net. I had to wait a second. The first goal and the only goal scored by Greenwood looked like it was from an impossible angle, but the wind caught enough of it. It had enough of a funky spin, and it trickled into the net. Glad you're here with us tonight on the Bomber Sports Network, regardless of where you may be this evening. Coming to you live from the Tim Terry radio booth here at Smith Robinson Stadium in the self-proclaimed Titletown, USA. A lot of contact around the 45. We'll have a whistle and a stoppage. Be a free kick for the Bombers. Aiden Sanders will come out of net to take this one. This will be at the 45 on the football field. Aiden's got a leg on him. Kick is away. It's a good-looking ball. Bounces in front of the 18-yard box. Kelso bats it down. And now Greenwood coming the other way. Aiden has to retreat. That's where Greenwood could take advantage there. Aiden's playing so far out of his net that if they were to get something pretty quick, he'd have to be in a full sprint to get back in position. But Coach Kreiner trusts his goalkeeper. As we'll have a pair of substitutions coming on. It looks like they're going to give Aldo Hernandez a breather. Excuse me, Jonathan Hernandez a breather. As this is launched toward the net, it goes through the goalpost, but it will be a goal kick for the Bulldogs. Again, we appreciate you watching wherever you may be across this great state of ours. Even those of you watching abroad. Still a very crystal clear evening here on the plains, the bumpy plains of the western part of our state near Fort Smith. Second, actually third most populous area of the state behind Northwest Arkansas and Little Rock. Mentioned earlier, again, all clear here in this portion of the state. Might have a little rain on the way home, but nothing too crazy. It's supposed to get a little ugly the next week and a half. I'd have issue with baseball, softball next week, and other soccer games remaining, but as they say, rain, sleet, or snow, Bombers got to go unless there's, lightning or too much rain. And that's an issue, of course, that radar, courtesy of the National Weather Service. Thanks to our friends in Little Rock at the National Weather Service station. A lot of contact there, and we'll have a stoppage and a booking. Possibly a booking as they have stopped it. They bumped heads, so that was not a good-looking collision there as the clock is stopped with 20:55 remaining. As Coach David Martin's on the case now, he's trudging his way out. Athletic training staff and Coach Chris Young for Greenwood coming out. That was a wicked collision. First thought it was something, I thought it was something malicious, but it was just for pure safety. Now Nathan's going to come out, trade off, and get some intel from Coach Martin. They're still tending to this athlete here from Greenwood. He is shaken up, but 20:55 to go in this one. It is 1-1. Only gaining 1 point would not be the end of the world for the Bombers if they can escape with a tie, but it would bring Greenbrier and our friends from the West just that much closer in the standings. Right now you get 3 points for a win, no points for a loss, and 1 for a tie. The top 3 in the conference is pretty well set. Russellville is 11-0. They defeated Siloam Springs tonight 3-1. Russellville, the relentless soccer killing machine right now in the West, along with Siloam. Van Buren at 10-2, and then Mountain Home currently sits fourth at 3-6-2. They are at 11 points. Greenwood is at 9 points. Harrison also at 9 points, and Greenbrier sitting at 8 points. So every point is precious at this point. Greenwood coming into tonight's game 2 points behind, but if they were able to get one across here and snag a win, they would move into the driver's seat of the 5A West in the 4th spot. Even crazier thing, Greenwood and Mountain Home will play the same 2 teams next week. Mountain Home will play Greenbrier and then Alma. Greenwood will play Alma and then Greenbrier. Greenbrier had a bit of a hot streak, as we'll have a corner kick coming here. Greenwood with a 5-0 defeat over the Goblins the other night. It was 1-0 at halftime, and then Greenbrier scored another one, and then Harrison started to chase them and had to kind of go a little bit out of their style. And the floodgates opened for the Panthers. It ended up being 5-0. So they got their full allotment of goals for the tiebreaker and all 3 points. As this is crossed in front of the net, this will go back to where it came from, but it was mishandled. And it'll be a goal kick for the Bombers and Aiden Sanders. Of course, the great prize for whoever finishes 4th, well, you get to take on the host school, Hot Springs Lakeside, who's sitting high atop the 5A South. The only place the Bombers can finish is 4th if they make the playoffs. So there's a lot of contact. Kelso comes up with the ball. Now they go down the sideline for Garrett Barr. Barr getting shielded. It goes out of play. And a throw in for Greenwood. Now it bounces back to Kelso. Kelso hot. A 2-sport athlete. Also a member of the Mountain Home Chamber Choir. That sucker can sing. As I mentioned earlier, he also had a game-winning field goal against the Cyclones of Russellville earlier this year. A game which, even though it was tied late, Mountain Home had pretty well controlled that game. You know, they never trailed in that game. It saw 2 ties. Mountain Home shifting their back line ever closer to the net. Ball comes back this way inside the football coach's box. It's a little difficult to see the lines here. The back of that blue box you see on their screen is the out-of-bounds line, and then there's a gray line connected with it. It's very hard to see, but that is the out-of-bounds line. It's about 10 to 12 yards. A soccer field's about 10 to 12 yards wider than a football field is. And it stretches from back of the end zone to back of the end zone, so 120 yards. Funny enough, when you made the state finals, when they played the finals over at the Razorback Soccer Complex at Fayetteville, you were playing on a field that was not regulation. You're playing on a field that was wider than any dimension set by the NFHS. Now they play it at UCA, and they do a good job over there having the state championships there. I believe the baseball, softball is still at Benton, however. That's a beautiful facility if you've never made it there. Comes crossing back over the middle. It's broken up. Baseball, softball state will be held just to the west of us, a short 55-minute drive away from Mountain Home, as this is scooped up by the keeper. Or soccer being hosted by Hot Springs Lakeside, the central part of the state, well represented in the state tournaments, as I believe 4A soccer is hosted by Joe T. Robinson in Little Rock. That is held at Joe T. Robinson, I'd imagine, as we'll have at a Greenwood Bulldog down. I believe they might also have games at Burns Park, but West Bellefonte will be a busy place because the City Park is also hosting 3A soccer, being hosted by, of all teams, Bergman. And 6A is at Little Rock Southwest, so 3 of the 4 soccer state tournaments in a pretty reasonable radius of the central part of the state. Greenwood clears this one out. The baseball and softball state tournaments, they're kind of all spread out. 1A is at Westside Greer's Ferry. It's around Clinton, if you've ever been there. Palestine Wheatley has 2A. That's somewhere between Wynn, Marion, somewhere in that area. Coach Josh Fulcher coached there for a couple years. Majestic Park's the host of 3A. 4A is at Gravette. We know where 5A is, and then Bentonville hosting 6A. Greenwood will throw in as we're under 15 minutes to go now. Time ticking away. Been a very physical game. Of course, in the self-proclaimed American football capital of the world, you'd expect nothing less than physicality. Many people are saying if the state finals were played on a regulation-sized field, Mountain Home would have a trophy or two. Have our friend Brett Brewer, who's coaching the girls at Harbor, has sent in that piece of wisdom. Never thought about that, but he is correct. But it is the same for both teams that are playing, so I guess it's not really that unfair. But if you're less athletic than your opponent, then it kind of is. But cross in front. Greenwood has something cooking here. Now they're cooking with Crisco. Launch toward the net. Saved by Sanders. Cross back, and Greenwood has the lead. .13:32 remaining, and Greenwood is on the high side. Aiden Sanders did all he could. He sprawled out, made an incredible save, but it took a horrible bounce right to the boot of a Greenwood Bulldog. And now Mountain Home has to play catch-up. This has turned this game upside down. As again, Greenwood without their head coach Tyler Woods tonight, led by their AD and American football coach Chris Young, now has the lead. Oh my goodness. So Mountain Home will have to push hard. They're going to have to at least try to salvage a tie, because if this score holds, As this is bouncing, Aiden has to kick it away, clears it out. As it took a fortuitous bounce for Greenwood there, and Aiden cleared it out of danger. This score holds. This would turn the middle of the 5A Central, whatever conference we're in, 5A West upside down. This will be a free kick. Aiden Sanders will come out of his goal to take this one. He is across the 50, so if Greenwood were to get it back, he would have to retreat about 55 yards, 50 yards to get back in position. So launched in the middle of the 18-yard box. Kelso tried a bicycle kick, but it comes back down to Greenwood. 12 minutes to go now. Greenwood trying to go on the counter. Mountain Home trying to find anything that they can to try to tie this up, as it'll go out of bounds and be a throw-in for Mountain Home. And their center official's going to overturn it, give it back to Greenwood. It's been a physical game, but it's been a controlled and okay called game for both sides. I mean, there hasn't been a distinct advantage to how it's been called. And here come the Bombers. Jake Brewer tried to get it, got knocked out of bounds. And Greenwood will have a throw-in. Greenwood trying to take as much time as possible. Tick, 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 tick. This is knocked out. It'll go 30 yards to the right of the previous spot for a throw-in. Ten and a half to go. Here from Smith Robinson Stadium, I'm Dylan Conley on behalf of the Mountain Home School District, bringing you all the action a short 201 miles from Mountain Home. As there's calamity in front of the net, a Bomber and a couple Bulldogs getting bowled over, as this will get scooped up by Sanders, as you had another one sliding in, and we're going to have a booking. A stoppage in play, and a card has been called. Card has been given to, I can't tell who, I believe it was a Bulldog. Aiden had that bemused look on his face. I almost thought that it was on him. Aiden got one last game for, what was the wording I was told? It was for delay of the game, but it was for delaying tactics. As we're at 10 to go now. So a very rare occurrence last game, a yellow card on the keeper. Coming back this way, Kelso hot, ran by it, now he's got to come back. Other thing of note, the Bombers have not had Zane Dirac tonight. Now this is tried, cross back to the middle, was attempted. Now it's high in the air. This will bounce harmlessly right to the hands of the keeper. Coming on the backside was Garrett Barr. He was just 2 steps too early, or 2 steps too late. As they might have had something there, but this will be a goal kick, high arcing kick. Holy mackerel, this will bounce at the opposite 25. Now Greenwood's got something here, as it will bounce backwards as it's close to a handball. Now Greenwood will tap it ahead. Now it comes back this way, sliding it out of harm's way. I believe, couldn't tell who that was. Mountain Home trying to launch something here, as we have a lot of contact, they're going to let it play on. That's some games being played with the goalie of Greenwood. Now the Mountain Home defender was in the right. He was outside the 18-yard box. Something that should have been called that's never called is there's a certain amount of time when the goalie picks it up that he has to kick it down the field. I have only seen that called once at any level of soccer. It's supposed to be, I want to say, 5 or 6 seconds before the goalie has to dismiss the ball, but you never see it called. In fact, I don't even know what, if an official would call that, what that would be. I mean, my guess would be it will be probably a yellow card. Another free kick coming for Mountain Home as we're at 6:52 to go. One of the many soccer experts that are texting me right now could tell me what would happen if that's ever called. As this is kicked now to the center of the 18-yard box, bounced high in the air. Greenwood's goalie has to come up with it. Now he'll sprawl to the ground, and he comes up with it. Low arcing kick, but it's going right down to Kelso Hott at the 40. That should have been, that was a lot of contact there. I'm not going to lie, but I saw Kelso and I saw David both put their hands up and telling them stop the clock because it should have been a foul, but oh my goodness. So this will be a goal kick for the Bulldogs once again. So we're under 6 minutes to go. And now, Coach Kreiner's making a change right now. He is putting in, who's the other keeper we have? Who is that? I can't see his number. It's Caleb Daniel will come in. Aiden Sanders is going to pull a quick change artist move on the sideline. He's going to be placed at striker or one of the strikers are placed up front because the Bombers need goals and they need them now. Comes Greenwood the other way as this is knocked out. So I think as soon as Sanders is done dressing on the sideline, he will go in. Again, Greenwood taking a very large amount of time to get this ball in play as this is thrown in. Imagine around the 4-minute mark you'll see Aiden Sanders head over to the sideline to check in for one last ditch attempt to try to tie this one. Is launched toward the net. Daniels comes out of the net, goes off his hands, and he scoops it up out of harm's way with 4:10 to go. So it looks like Aiden's ready to go. He's exchanged his number 1 goalie uniform for a number 4 as he'll go out of play. It'll go out of play, and it'll be a substitution for Mountain Home. Mountain Home all gas and no brakes now with 3:45 to go. So Sanders, who was one of the leading goal scorers the last 3 years for the Bombers, will now be placed back up front as they try to make something happen here with 3:33 to go in Greenwood. So the formation is somewhat shifted. Kelso's at center mid now. Hayden's at a striker position. So now it's more of a, it's close to a double diamond. Now it comes back this way. Under 3 minutes to go now. Greenwood clinging to a 1-goal lead. This would shift the momentum in the middle of the 5A West state playoff hunt. Again, we do not play overtime. If Mountain Home were to tie it, it would just end in a tie, which is one of the stupider rules I've seen in the state. It used to be at the end of regulation, you go to PKs. You would still determine a winner. You could always just start doing, and I've suggested this to a lot of people, go to hockey style overtime and still keep the point system. So if you go to overtime, you earn at least 1 point, or go to PKs, you earn 1 point, but if you become the winner, then you get the 2 extra points for winning instead of just win, tie, or loss. So that way, just getting to PKs, you're rewarded. As the ball was touched, now Greenwood shielding defenders away from the ball. A massive humanity in front of the flag stick. As we will have a stoppage with 1:29 to go in this one. I just saw 4 bodies run into each other, and a Bulldog got barreled over by all 4, one of his own teammates and 2 Bombers on the far sideline. So when we resume play, we will have 89 seconds remaining. It will either be more than likely 3 points for Greenwood, or Mountain Home will launch a comeback and we'll leave here with a draw. Mountain Home scored the initial goal in this one, and Greenwood is on a 2-goal run since then, all without their head coach tonight. So we will have a corner kick as the time is still stopped, as it looks like the official is trying to, they've actually taken time off the clock. It went from 1:29 to 1:27. Now the clock's running. As a corner kick for Greenwood, center of the box, comes down to Garrett Barr. Barr jockeying for position, trying to launch a counterattack. Greenwood has this one bottled up. Sanders has it now. And now Greenwood scoops it up. They go back the other way with 70 seconds to go. Sanders with it now. He's been goalie for the first 76 minutes of this one. Then he pulled a quick change on the sideline. I believe it was about 1:45 seconds from goalie uniform to regular player uniform. He could have his own show in Vegas. 42 seconds left. As it's a free kick for Greenwood, but they're taking their sweet time right now. Half a minute to go. Mountain Home trying to go the other way. Greenwood has 7 players back behind the first guy of Mountain Home. Greenwood shielding him away, down to 20 seconds. Comes right down to Kelso. One last opportunity for Mountain Home. They'll launch it into the middle. Now goes back to the outside. Barr tried to get in front of it. We're down to 10 seconds. This will be a throw-in for Mountain Home. One last gasp for the Bombers. Down to 3, down to 2, and that's going to do it. So the final score from Greenwood, the Bombers have lost. Or, well, actually, are they gonna say there's still time on they're still playing. The clock has ran out. So apparently the officials' time and the time on the scoreboard is completely different. We have no idea how much time is left. The official made what I thought I saw the signal he made was they're keeping time on the field because the clock is at zeros. The clock we have is also at zeros. So we have no idea how much time is left in this game. We're going to play until the referee blows his whistle 3 times. And there's a lot of contact there. They might get Kelso for a penalty. The fans getting rowdy here at Smith Robinson Stadium. Again, no idea how much time is left in this game because if it's the same signal the official was making, I saw about a minute and a half ago, he started making that around the 10-minute mark. So this will be a free kick for Greenwood. Bounces in front of the net and out of play. We're still playing here. We're going to wait till it's a corner for Greenwood. We're going to play till the official says otherwise, because he's the only one that knows how much time is left. And that's it. So the time has run out, and the Bombers have lost. So the final score, Greenwood defeats Mountain Home 2-1, and now they slide into 4th place in the 5A West. What an excellent game. The only thing that wasn't excellent was the outcome. So the final score from Greenwood is Bombers lose this one 2-1. We thank you for joining us tonight. This has been a presentation of Mountain Home Bomber Athletics on the Mountain Home Bomber Sports Network. We thank you for watching on the Bomber Sports Network on YouTube. We thank you for watching at mhbombersports.com. Be sure to visit our new website, mhbombersports.com. Download the Mountain Home Athletics app, available on the Google and Apple Play Store. Again, the final score from Greenwood, the Bombers lose this one 2-1. Lady Bombers came up victorious 2-1, and the JV Lady Bombers won 2-0. Our next broadcast of Bomber Athletics will be Tuesday, as we'll have Lady Bomber softball for you from Alma, Arkansas, as it's going to be one of the crazier final days of the season for baseball and softball. Softball's all locked up. They will be the 3 seed in the Class 5A state playoffs, but they're the only ones locked in. Baseball can still finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and not even make it. And the same thing for our soccer teams. They could both still have a chance to make it, but they would need some help in addition to 2 wins next week. So again, final score, Bombers lose 2-1. On behalf of the Mountain Home School District, I am Dylan Conley, wishing you a good rest of your week. Have a great Friday, and go Bombers.